So here I am back again, trying to make a video that I can say kind of what I want to say and see if I can't say a few things without getting cry or, not having the words I wanted to say, but basically just saying it from my heart, I guess. We just went to breakfast, actually lunch, with Matthew and Deborah and Maurice and Stephanie and little Caleb and Nathan, the newest baby, and turned out to be pretty good. Matthew paid for mine and Fred's, your dad's, which was really nice of him. Getting back to what I said earlier, I'll probably have to edit it all in. I just want my family to know how much I love them. And I'm going to be really positive for this upcoming surgery on March the 30th. Today is March the 4th. Tomorrow's my brother Steve's birthday. And I'm not really making a bunch of sense, so I guess I'll try to get to the chase here. David's going to be getting married here on the 18th. Or have a big reception, I should say. And I want him to know that I really love him a lot. I'm glad that we've been able to open up and talk with each other a lot this past year, since him and Angie's gotten a divorce. And I'm very proud of him. He's done really well in his life. He does have a few anger problems that he needs to take care of. But I'm very proud of him. He's really done a good job, and the fact that he's going to be making an effort to stay away from even doing marijuana is a big thing for him. And I hope he succeeds in that, and I hope that it works out good for him. He's given me a lot of trials through the years, but it's been a learning experience for both of us, and he's had things that have been really hard on him, but I'm proud of where he's succeeded, and he's done well for himself, and I hope that he keeps in mind that he can have all the happiness in the world if he really wants it. It's right in front of him right now. And Tanya and little Renata can be a big blessing in his life if he just holds steadfast to the things that really, really matter. And I think that I've really learned a lot in the last little while about materialistic things aren't really what's important at the end of the day. Even though we all strive to get them and we do everything in our power to get there, it seems like we work our whole entire life for things. And as I've cleaned out this garage and went through a lot of stuff in this house, which I have a lot to do, I've learned that it can be all gone in a second. And it's really not important. What's important is the relationships that we form and the love that we have for our family and being together and getting along. Sometimes we forget that, and it makes it really hard sometimes because we all are guilty of putting ourselves first or our things first. But at the end of the day, when you face your mortality, I can honestly say it's not whether or not I've done everything I could to be, do everything perfect for fear that I won't go to heaven or anything like that. No. I feel that our life is definitely not over when we leave this earth. I know that we have a lot to face when we leave this earth. And there is definitely going to be a reunion in heaven. I have no doubt. I've never lost my faith. Have I always been perfect? Absolutely not. I'm not perfect. I have my faults. I have my addictions. Perhaps the worst addiction I've had in the last 6 years has been a gambling addiction that you kids already know that I've dealt with. And I'm working on that. And the best way for that to happen and continue to go down the right path is to have my husband understand that I can't even go there. I become a different person. I believe that he's starting to realize that. It's not good. Any addiction is not good. I'm so fortunate to have all my kids that have made wise decisions, and nobody's perfect. But they've all turned out pretty darn good, and I'm proud of each and every one of them. You know, Darren has been the one kid that in the beginning, through a lot of my trials and separation and divorce and everything that I had from my first husband for 18 years, was having him. He was the one thing that kept me going, that gave me a reason to keep going. Him and little Dave both were the strength I needed at the time to get through it. It was hard, facing it every night, working. And I write about it, a lot of all that detail, in a book that I've been working on now for a couple of years, and I'm really trying hard to maybe get it finished so that maybe I can at least get a good chunk of it before I even go in for that operation on March 30th. And I hope that it will be an important item that will get finished, and that the kids will be able to read what I have to say in that book. It's to the best of my knowledge, the truth of everything. I've read a lot of my journals, and I have written it according to my own memory and my own journals and the things that I've written through the years to make sure things were pretty accurate. If there's anything there that might be in a different view of thought than my own, although that's okay, but I wrote it to the best I could, and hopefully it will be something that will be for my family for many generations, even after I'm gone, of some of my memories. And I know I'm just a person, but every person matters, and all the people that matter to me is my family, and those from the past, and the ones that have passed on, and my kids and my husband, and I love them. That's all I can say. And I wasn't easy to live with for a lot of years after I married Fred. I talk about that a lot too in my book, but he's really been my rock. No matter what I've done or not did, or no matter how hard, no matter how much hardship I gave him in the beginning of our marriage, or even through our marriage, or any of the hardship he's given me, we both have had our share of faults, that's for sure. No one's perfect, but at the end of the day, I couldn't have asked for a better partner and companion. Someone that's always been there. Someone that I, without doubt, knows he loves me. Never had to worry about him being unfaithful, nor has he had to worry about that with me. Uh, he's been a really good father to the kids. He's always made it to where they were all together, loved, every one of them, as though they were born to him. And for that, I'm very grateful for. I'm having a hard time talking on here. Trying to be just me. But when you get into a room by yourself and you're talking and you're thinking about things, it's harder to maintain composure. I do go into the past a lot. I like to go back in and watching videos of the kids when they were little, how they loved the camera, when they all were singing or dancing, or times at the house when they would just break out singing and dancing. All the fun moments. You truly have been everything. All of you. Give me a second here. I don't want to do this. And I'll really look withered. Crap, right? I'm probably seeing a lot of uhs and ands and everything else, but there's never a perfect time to do this, right? I keep on putting it off, and you don't want to have a paper that you write out and say what you want to say, because that's not me. But I have one hell of a bunch of talented kids. So proud. I would rather listen to them all sing than anything else I could listen to. Oh, you guys laughed, and sometimes you go, oh my gosh, don't want to listen to this album again or anything like that. But I'm telling you, one day you'll be glad that we did all that together. And I could listen to it every day. When you listen to things like that, it brings back good things, good memories, and good times, and a talent. It's a lot to be said when you enjoy listening to your own kids. Of course, I'm partial. I mean, you are my kids, but I have to say that your voices, each and every one of you, you all have your place, but every one of you got magic in your voices. Every single one. Some more than others because you have more of a passion. I have to say, in all the years that I played music and all the years that I loved it, it was my life, I have never seen the passion for singing as strong as I seen it in Matthew. Every day just to sing and sing and sing, and the power, the love of it, and seeing such an amazing voice grow. And when I hear you singing the other one, everything, I miss that a lot. But Maurice, the voice that you had when you were a young kid, And to know that you have so much more potential in your voice, that you kind of lost that zest, but it's your magic is there. And I can't even fathom how great it would be to hear you and Matthew together and really both of you feel what you could do. Who knows? I might still see that. But oh, it would be amazing. Savannah, oh, you have such an amazing original voice, and yet you hide it, and it could be so much, and yet I know you like to do it, but you hide yourself from everybody. You're hiding something that is so wonderful. It should be shared. Hopefully, maybe you'll let us see a little more of that in the future. Darren, unbelievably, so you had the passion for the dance to an extreme of the love that you had for that. And you just danced with pride. You had the capability of being so much more, but you took on fatherhood, which I'm proud of you that you really got in there. And you've had a lot of hard times, but you know what? You are a strong person because of what you went through. I think that you've embraced your responsibilities, and you're a wonderful father. The kids couldn't be luckier. And I'm proud of you. But you amaze me with your many, many talents. You also have a beautiful voice that came across so well when we sang together, or when you sing songs that really fit your voice. And I remember the shy person that started off in the beginning, and the strong, more sure of what you could do. And you still have greater potential. You have great potential. And you're very, very good at everything that you try, because you're not afraid to try. Are you perfect? No, none of us are. But I'll tell you what, you're not afraid to do things, and you're not afraid to try. And you've always been that way. And that's a good thing. That's a good, positive thing. I was going to say, too, that going back to Matthew and Maurice as well, you guys were really good at everything you tried, other than basketball. I have to say, you guys really didn't have the balance, or not the balance, but the coordination. Probably lack of coordination was a lot to do with me. I never had coordination, but what you did do, you did goof around a lot when it come to karate, or when you did a lot of things. You definitely could tell you had the same mindset, and you were a team in all things. I still see it even after today when I was with you. Both of you think a lot alike, and you were a team all the time. And I'm so proud of both of you. Maurice, you becoming a nurse. I have to say, Stephanie, you get part of that. You get part of that credit, because you were good. You helped him, and you pushed him, kept him focused, and he's doing well. I'm very proud of him that he's become a nurse, and he's been being a very good father. I'm just really proud of his accomplishments. Matthew amazes me every time something comes up, and the amount of stuff he's read. There was one in particular thing that I really remember the most about Matthew, and there was some comments made on Facebook one time, and I hope that I can find it. I don't know if I can, but I would love to find it again. It seems like I actually copied it somewhere, but I just got to find it. But he had a reply for that about a church member that had kind of totally went AWOL, or totally went opposite of his thinking, and was trying to push it on everybody else. And basically Matthew got on there and wrote this the statement of beliefs and how he felt, and questioned him a little bit. I don't remember all the details, but I remember reading that and thinking how proud I was that he had so much knowledge of the church and his wisdom on putting things into words, because he's had a struggle with dealing with words when he talks. But he's been studying a lot of the stuff. He's doing so well in One Solar, and I'm so proud of him. He's just going right up the road of success, and so is all my kids. I have to say I'm proud of them all. We get to Shalanda. It's always said when she was very young, Shalanda was quite the character. And I still see that little mischievousness in her eyes. You can tell when she's getting excited when she tells a story, and then she sees the excitement and she gets more excited. And even at this age, her stories will get more colorful as she goes. When she sees excitement, she just brings it up and above. She brings the story to alive, I should say. But I'll tell you what, she is very talented art-wise. I'm sitting here looking at a painting that she just one day decided to put on a canvas. It says it was in April of 2021. Beautiful, just right then and there, painted it, and it looks wonderful. And her cakes, I remember going to that place in Arizona, and she was thinking about taking cake school. And when they seen the cakes that she'd already made, he said, "You're better than these kids that have already graduated from this cake school. Your cakes are better than theirs." I'm telling you, talent. And nails. Everything she does by hand, just so proud of her. She's really went up a scale at her job. She's literally doing so well at home and topping all the numbers from everybody else. She's been recognized as such. I mean, it's amazing. She's really just talented beyond. And she's always been one that has surprised us with little Easter things when she's just decided, or for Christmas or different. She's always done little things for everybody that they weren't expecting. Is she perfect? No. She can be honoring. She can do her thing too. I think we all can. Everybody has those days. Every one of my kids have those days or those viewpoints where they say their things and have their attitudes. I don't think I have any of them that don't have some of that, because they're all freely can speak their minds out. That's not a bad thing. I mean, for us in this family, everything has been open to talk about in our family. I'm proud of that, because I think we've had a pretty good communication with all the kids, and I hope that always continues. Kenneth was one of those kids that always had his head in the air somewhere, but talent? Oh yes, he's got talent. You know, he picked one of the instruments that I love listening to the most, cello. Oh, beautiful. And he is the one child out of 5 that actually played the piano. The one dream I've always had is to play the piano. I learned it one time, and I could play the entertainer. And I actually found that video, kids. I actually found that. And I still have that dream even today, that I could just sit down and just play, because I feel like the piano would have just been something that I would have grasped and I could have created so well if I only knew how to put what's in my head into my fingers with the piano. I could create, and you never know, I still might have that chance. And I love the violin, but I always wanted to learn more. I wanted to just be able to get up there and just be something. I guess always wanting to do a little bit more, I suppose, but I just never embraced it 100% once I started singing. It's never too late, though. Remember that, kids. It's never too late to do more. And I have to say that Kenneth has always been a kid that he would go out and find jobs, and then the other kids would go because he wasn't afraid to approach anybody. That's not a bad thing. That's a really good thing that he has. He's got a wonderful wife, and he's got a child. Oh, he's a cutie. Owen is a really good kid. And of course, he's not that old yet, but as he grows, we're going to get to know him better. But Kenneth has been trying all different things. He did really good with massage and COVID hit, and just a lot of things that kind of blocked him in his way. He also did really good in school and singing and acting. I have some videos of him with the caveman. I think that's the one I like the most, because that outfit that he got for that, he got at the DI. And, oh, excuse me, he put that on and did that musical. I'm telling you, even though he played a part, it was Kenneth. It was Kenneth through that. When he watched the way he was sitting there with the look on his face, and the outfit that he picked out couldn't have been any better. It was just, it just makes me laugh every time I see it. And he was in all the musical things that the kids were in. He danced, and he's not afraid, and he's done well with everything he's tried. He's the one that actually got Darren involved in the ballet and the other kids. Well, I won't say that necessarily. I guess it was Darren. I think it was Darren and Kenneth. When Darren told him about the girls and stuff, then Kenneth wanted to get in. But it was because Kenneth got in, then all of a sudden the other boys decided they wanted to get in. However, we couldn't get Kevin. Now, Kevin, I'll tell you, Kenneth and Kevin are totally different opposites, basically, but yet they still are a lot the same. When it comes to their demeanor, they're more laid back. Do they got tempers on them? Oh, yeah, they got tempers on them. We just don't see it because it takes them a lot. Once it comes out, it goes, and it comes back real fast. But they both have always got their minds on how they're going to make more money or do this or that, which I think that that's Kevin more for his change of the things he does. I think he loses interest a little bit in what he's doing. I think he wants to get towards like he might start something, but he wants to be where everybody else is at in about triple the time of everyone else. And for some things, that's not a bad thing, but for others, it can be. So he's got to learn to be a little bit patient and realize it takes time sometimes to get where everybody else is already there. And he just needs to remember that asking for advice is not a bad thing. And he does pretty good with that. He does ask. But he's not afraid to do his own thing, that's for sure. And I'm proud of the fact that he did go on a mission and Kevin went on a mission. I think that helped me a lot and also helped them. But I'm proud of all the boys that went and got their scouts, Eagle Scout. I think Darren would have too, but where he had to get married at an early age, that's what prevented him from doing that. But I'm proud of all their accomplishments. There's so many. And when I think about Savannah, she's kind of been more of the child that wants to shock the world, I think, in some ways. And yet, she's so fun to be around. And she's been kind of the advice for everybody. she's the one child that likes to play games with the boys. And she's good at it. She can keep up with the best of them. And not only is she very talented as well, she's really an easy person to talk to, which has the habit of a lot of people asking her for advice or going to her because she is a good listener and she does well with that. I know when she was at home, me and her got into it a lot because she would, there was a lot of back and forth with her dad and a lot of riffraff. But I'll tell you what, we've become very close. Very, very close. Since she's moved out, everything. She's the one person I can really talk to about a lot of things. And yet, Sholanda's been always my go-to as well. It's just that I think I'm almost in a place where I go to one for one thing and the other one for other things. And I can't really say, and I know you kids all say I have this favorite or I have that favorite. No, that's not true, kids. There's not one of you. If someone said to me, who would you pick? I couldn't pick any of you. Is there certain ones that I may call or do because of who they are and who I know I can count on? Of course. There's certain kids that will do certain things that I'll ask them first because I know that they'll do it. And then there's those that I know that won't. And you kind of know your kids. The talents of all you kids are just amazing to me. And when I talk about Kevin and Kenneth, Kevin has always been a really hard worker and a love for outdoors and for planting plants and maintaining. All I can say is Kevin is very, very talented. And the things that he does with his hands and his work ethic is beyond. It's really just a little bit beyond the rest of the kids when it comes to his dedication or his work ethic. However, I can't necessarily put one above the other because I think that even Darren has a great work ethic. When it comes to competition of decorations, I believe that Maurice and Kevin and anybody that does the Halloween or whatever becomes direct competition with each other, but they're both good. They're both equally good, so it's like you're proud with both of them, and when you see one displayer, you see the other. They both have the perfect display for them and their place and their stuff. And Maurice has tried so hard to be that great Halloween decorator. Maurice, you've accomplished that. I was proud of your display when I went and seen it. I was really overwhelmed how well it was. It was great, and it looks awesome because you have a theme and everything just flowed. You need to be proud of yourself, Maurice, for that, because I'll tell you what, your display was awesome, and I loved it. Kevin's display was awesome, and I loved it. Couldn't ask for any better talent than what I have with my kids. Sitting here making sure I'm turning. And Marissa, thank you for being by Kevin's side and always being there for him and helping him, because you've helped him with a lot of things. I'm sitting here hoping I haven't forgot someone that I want to say more about or whatever, but all you kids know I love you. I'm proud of every single one of you, and if I haven't said enough about your talents, believe me, if you ever read my book, or if I don't end up getting it done, It's there, and it still needs to be pieced together. But I'm telling you that I've said a lot in those books about my kids. And every one of them I'm proud of. And all the things that they've done. And all the things that they will do. And even with all the many faults that they'll have. Because none of us is perfect. But the person I really want to talk about, as much as I love all you kids, is your father. He's rough talking. He sometimes doesn't understand everything. And he's got anger in him a lot of times. But I always try to remember he was raised in a different culture than I was. But beyond all that, he has been the best father that you could have ever had. I've told you kids this time and time again, he changed as many diapers as I did. He might have had a loud bark, but he was always there. And he's always treated you all the same. You may not think so, but I know so. I've heard him praise Darren as much as he would praise Matthew and Maurice. I've heard him praise Kevin and Kenneth as much as he would the other kids. And I've also heard him tell me their faults or when they get in arguments. He don't say anything, how do I say? He'll get on Maurice and Matthew sometimes more than he does Darren or Kevin or Kenneth or that. He might just put as much crap onto the other kids as he did any of you other kids. You've all been treated equally. And he's been good. He's taught you great things. Every one of you've learned a lot from your father. And every one of you have some knowledge of cooking, other than maybe Maurice. But I think even Maurice has learned a few things. But I'm telling you, he's proud of all of you. He may not know how to say it in words sometimes, but I know that he does, and will continue to always love all you kids. And he loves every one of you, and he's very proud of every one of you. And I really feel bad that I didn't show him more in the very beginning, but it's never too late. And we've had our ups and downs, and we've had our arguments and our stupidness and stuff. But I love him very, very much. And I couldn't have asked for someone that has been more supportive than he has and put up with a lot of crap. But I put up a lot of crap with him too. It's been hard and a great and definitely worth it road with Fred. It's been worth it. I wouldn't have anybody else above him, let me tell you. I'm glad I chose him. I'm glad I listened to that small, still voice even when I had doubts. I had that small, still voice that told me that I was making the right choice even when I didn't know I was making the right choice. Was it easy? Absolutely not. Was I perfect? Absolutely not. Was he perfect? No. But I'll tell you what, it's been worth it. And it was meant to be. And one thing about it, I will have him forever, as long as we both continue to want that. And right now I definitely do. And I hope that when he leaves this world, he wants to have me as well. Well, I'm probably sitting here talking way, way, way beyond what I expected to. I hope that you guys will understand how much I love you again and how proud I am of you. Again, I'll say that. I don't know if I've went through and said enough about each of you, but I'm telling you, I'm very proud of everybody, and I've probably said that 1,000,001 times now. But I'm very blessed. And my grandkids, you know, all of them right now that we have, you know, we've got little Cohen, we've got little Sawyer, we have little Nathan, we have, I'm hoping now that I open up this more, my hope that I'm going to say it all right. We have Everly, we have Caleb, we have Kason and Ada, we have Jaden and Zadrick, we have Sergio, we have, let me think real fast here, Tyler and Tyson, my first two born. How can I ever forget both of them? They are so wonderful, but yet they're stinkers too. They know what I'm talking about. Tyler and Tyson. And we've got, I said all Darren's. And we've got Kevin's got another little one on the way, so he hasn't been born yet. Then there's Kenneth, we just said his, Colin. And then there's Matthew and Maurice. Maurice has Caleb and Nathan. And Matthew, bless his heart, still waiting. I'm hoping that he gets what he needs. And then, of course, Stephanie. Let's see, Stephanie just had Nathan, so it's Marissa that we're waiting on to have this last child here. And I'm more sure that they'll have another one too. But I think I've named all the grandkids. Love them all. Well, what do I say? I'm sitting here, I'm tired too. I just, I'll have to do another video after this one. I'm tired. And sometimes if you're tired, maybe you don't cry as much as you do when you're wide awake. But I've said enough, so I guess I'll sign off for now. And I love you all. Bye-bye.